the issue of the comments that have been expressed about President Kenyatta's participation in politics and his comments, I think we have addressed those issues sufficiently. And honestly speaking, I have seen Kenyans have expressed themselves effectively on that matter, and they have expressed themselves very well. Namely, they are completely outraged by some of those comments that we have seen. You know, I keep going back to this again and again. We are a serious country. Kenya is a mature country. We expect some of our leaders to grow up, and conduct themselves in the manner in which they are supposed to conduct themselves when they are in those offices. There is language that we do not expect to come from leaders of that caliber. I mean, as I said here the other day at the press conference, even when we have certain differences and issues to raise about those in leadership, including the president, this language we cannot use to describe the head of state and who is the commander-in-chief of our defense forces, because we respect our soldiers and we respect our men and women in uniform. There are certain things. Lazima tuchore laini, kuna mahali siasa inafikia, and our patriotic responsibility takes over from there. We can't throw everything out, the baby with the bath water just because of politics. Na tukae sasa tunazungumza vile unaona viongozi wengine wanazungumza kwa aibu. There is language you can't use against the former head of state. We must be decent people. That's why we have made reference to President Mwai Kibaki when he assumed leadership. President Moi had just retired. President Kibaki did not allow that kind of flippant, petty, childish language to be used against President Moi. At one point, even he himself said he wants Moi to be respected. And that is a tradition we want to keep, of decency, respect for those who have served our country. And as many of us have observed, we are 63 years old since independence. We can't engage in the manner in which you are seeing people engaging. And what did the President Kenyatta actually do? Speaking to members of your party, speaking to your friends, that constitutes a crime. What did he do to warrant that kind of treatment? And as I said, if the former president makes one phone call, and then the government throws a tantrum the whole weekend, they are not serious people, honestly. They can't be serious. We are asking them to be a little more serious about the responsibilities they have. They may not believe in the Constitution, but they swore to govern by it and protect it. And then we expect that they will conduct themselves responsibly. So on that matter, I think I'm grateful that Kenyans have spoken, almost roundly condemned that behavior, roundly called for sense in the manner in which some of our leaders are conducting themselves. And I agree with them. I join that. Our party leader will continue to do his work. He will continue to execute his duties and responsibilities as our party leader until such a time as he himself feels, in consultation with the members of his party, that he has now made his contribution, he wants to do something else, or he would like to retire. Lakini kwa sasa, tafadhali tusiende kwa debate nyingi kwa hii maneno. It's a straightforward issue, and we don't expect. On the issue that the remarks by the Tanzanian president, first of all, if I was the Kenyan president in an audience like that, I would have taken advantage of that opportunity to defend the character of our country. Freedom is a way of life in Kenya. We have one of the most liberal constitutions on the continent. We are respected for that. Whether you're talking about freedom of expression, whether you're talking about media in Kenya, I mean, we have established ourselves and we hold respect around the world for who we are and how we engage with our young people. So if I was President Ruto, I would have used that particular opportunity to hoist up our credentials and educate the president of Tanzania on our attitude towards our young people. Because our young people are the mainstay of our country today and tomorrow, and always. So I can't sit in an audience where someone says that we punish our young people for expressing themselves. I mean, what's criminal about expressing yourself?
Could it be they are afraid of the recap of 2025 about the Gen Z and the finance bill?
But what crime is in that? I mean, what crime did the Gen Z commit? They express themselves, and we expect them to express themselves. We must live with this reality, that the world has changed. Governance is operating in a different context, and that we are a democracy. And what that means in actual terms is that we will wake up in the morning and there are people who think differently from what we think. We've got to live in this society together with those who do not agree with us. And you can say whatever you say about democracy, it is not the perfect form of government, but we don't have a better alternative, which means we must coexist and we must be here. And when Kenya's young people ask questions about what we do, we answer them. That's what happens. If we don't have answers, we also honestly tell them we don't have the answers. So if Kenyan young people are asking questions, for example, what do you expect to happen? That we tell them to go and look for President Salva Kiir to answer them. They have a president. We have a president here. We have a leader. And leadership is about responsibility. It's about taking up responsibility. That's why every time I say I am seeking the office of the president, and I will not make excuses for my responsibility. I will face up with every question that is asked by my citizens, young and old. Those that I'm not able to answer, I'll be very honest and tell them I cannot answer them. But I will not kill them or use that kind of shameful language that you saw the president of Tanzania use. And because she's the head of state of a neighboring country, I want also to be respectful and diplomatically restrained, because we can't prescribe to others what we are not willing to do ourselves. So nitawaheshimu wa Tanzania na kwa sababu ni rais wao, so I cannot comment so much about them. All I can comment about is that our president missed an opportunity to put up the image of Kenya, modern Kenya, and speak about modern Kenya. Because people here are tolerant and democracy is taking root in our country. He should have defended democracy.
Finally, maybe about nominations. We are a day to go. Our nominations, any updates?
No, you see, that matter is going on at two levels. One is going on at the internal party level in Jubilee, and then we are also having a conversation within the framework of the United Opposition. It is actually disrespectful of institutions to start running commentaries on matters that are going on, and we have not completed the processes. Because we as Jubilee are going to meet, all the structures of the party will meet and process that matter of Olkalau. Let the structures run the course, and then we will comment about them. I don't want to be an irresponsible person who shoots my mouth about things that we are working on internally when the institutions are intact. There is an institutional framework on which we are working on this. Even the conversations that are going on within the United Opposition on this matter, a time will come when we agree, all of us, with the rest of my colleagues, the leaders in the United Opposition, to comment about it. So I can't now jump the gun and start commenting about that or anticipating actions. It's disrespectful. And you know me. Over the years, I'm very respectful of institutional conduct.